Next question, another one from the lovely Mrs. Niff Meffinger. Again, I apologise for not pronouncing your name properly, I really am. But they've asked, how about how to choose what strings to use and gauge? Yeah, so basically, let's go for gauge first. When starting, if you're like a relatively novice player, well, that's a horrible word, but beginner player, 9 gauge, I would stick to them just to help out the fingers and the calluses and whatnot. For a reasonably good tone, for standard tuning, I've always, for the last 10 years or so, I've used 10 gauge for my Strats and Tellies. Personally, for me, it's just a better feel. I prefer when bending, I'm not going out of tune, so if they're too skinny, I'll just bend right up there, because I'm left-handed but play right-handed. So I guess my stronger hand is on the neck. So if I'm got skinny strings, my indentation goes right out, and I'll go right out, So for me personally, 10s for Strats and Tellies, but it's a personal choice. If you prefer 9s, all the power to you. If you like 12s on a Strats and Telly, you must have balls this big, and you're a tough guy or girl. But yeah, 10s personally for Strats and Tellys. And then with Les Pauls or Gibson style guitars, they have shorter scale necks. So you can get away with using a thicker string. So on my Les Paul, which you would have seen in other videos, I use 11 gauge on that. I think it's 11 to 49, I think it is, or 1148, I think it's 1149. So on a Les Paul, 11 gauge will kind of feel like 10s, maybe like a 10.5, something like that, because of the shorter scale. And if I was in E flat, if I had a guitar in E flat all the time on a Strat and Telly, I would put 11s on it, because obviously tune it down, make it feel like 10s, and I'll probably put 12s on a Les Paul, could tune it down, make it feel like 11s on Les Paul. And then regarding brands, each their own. A lot of people, I don't want to slag off brands or anything like that, because most of them are all great, but they all have their certain sounds. There are a couple of brands I stay away from, because I find that they die straight away. But the ones I mainly always use are GHS Boomers and Roto Sounds, or Roto Sounds, however you pronounce them. Especially GHS Boomers, because I remember when I was about 14 seeing Richie Sambora. He was like my guy when I was a kid, and he advertised GHS Boomers, so I went out and got Boomers. So yeah, I used Boomers for a long time, and if I can't get hold of them, I use Roto Sounds. But I also have used Dunlop strings. They're great, they're really good strings. For acoustics, I mainly always use Martin acoustic strings. I'm trying to think of other brands I've used. They're pretty much, Roto Sound and GHS Boomers, they're the main two, and Dunlop as well I've used, but yeah, GHS Boomers, can't go wrong. And Roto Sounds, with their English, and there's my phone. And it's my brother. Right, next question, from Edward Fabregat, 83, hope that's how you pronounce your name, buddy. They've asked, and what about amps? Which amp or amps are you currently using? Good question. The ones what I use when I'm at home, I'm using a Vox AC4 TV. Hopefully you've seen the video I did on it a couple of months ago when I got it. An amp I've had for years and years is a Fender Stage 100. Let me cut to it so you can see the amp actually. Right, there is the infamous Fender Stage 100. I've had it probably since about 1998, something like that. Go down, it's a solid state. I don't usually like solid states, but for bedroom use it's great. In case you all want to see the settings, that's the clean channel settings. And then that's the distortion settings, so if you can see that. Drive 7 a bit, volume just under 2. Treble 6, bass 6, mid 6, bass 7, reverb is off. And that's the infamous Stage 100. So that's that great little amp. And then when I'm gigging for live stuff, I use my Cornford MK50, which to me is one of the best amps ever made. Personally for me, it's the sound I hear in my head. I've wanted one for years and years and years. When I was at ACM, all the guys using them, Jamie Humphries, Guthrie Govern, Dave Kay, they all using it. And I just worked a lot and saved my ass off to be able to buy it. And I got it 2006, I got that amp. It's the head. And I used that with a Marshall 4x12. So yeah, I've been using that pretty much for every gig since 2006. Love it, great amp. And I've also got a JCM 2000, the DSL 100 head. That was my workhorse for a long time, up until I got the Cornford basically. I think I got that 2002, so I used that for a good few years. And then another amp you would have seen. So the Cornford, I think the one video I've used in the Cornford is when I got my new Telecaster, and that's a Cornford in that video. And then the other amp I got is a Fender Blues DeVille, which is a great amp, really good for clean. It just needs a good service as it pops a lot, and I can't really trust using it for gigs. But yeah, they're all my amps, and I've got my first ever amp, which is currently broken, which is under the stairs I think at my dad's house. So, but yeah, Cornford for gigging. And then when I'm teaching and whatnot, it's usually the Vox AC4 or the Stage 100. So they're my amps. Next question from the lovely Tom. Tom, oh man, I'm really bad with names, man. Tom Padifino. He's on my channel. Go on my channel, you'll see his channel, a link to his channel on my channel. Good man, good player. Hello buddy, you have asked, what is your favourite guitar you own and why? Now, the Tele is a close favourite. It's definitely up there, but my favourite guitar I own is, drum roll, this one. This is my favourite guitar. Me and this old girl have been through a lot together. I got this in June 1999, and yeah, I adore this guitar. It's just been, I've done literally probably thousands of gigs with it. I've done some cool sessions with it. Yeah, it's been everywhere. If this had the nitro finish, like my Les Paul and Tele have, it would probably be Steve Ray Vaughan, probably, but polyurethane finishes are like bomb proof, but it's got a few dings, and we're finally breaking through to the wood, if you can see. We're finally breaking through to the wood at long last through belt buckle, or one little ding there, or one little belt buckle wear there. This is my favourite guitar. I've had it for years and years, and since I was 15, 15, 16. But yeah, this is my favourite guitar. It's just a lot of sentimental value to it, and also as well, I've been playing it for so long, the neck is just a part of my hand. Really, my hand's literally just moulded in the neck. I can get pretty much any sound I really want out of it. If I want like a humbucky sound, even only single coil, so I put position 4 on and turn the volume down. Sorry, not the volume, sorry, turn the tone down. It'll kind of get a humbuckerish kind of sound. Try it on your single coils if you've got a strap. But yeah, it just goes where I want it to go, and I love it. So yeah, this is my number one, my old girl, my first wife. My only wife, but yeah. Cheers Tom, buddy. Silent Thunder 890, aka Tom Child, his question is, I'm unsubscribing. Fuck you then, bitch! Right, last couple of questions. We got, could you maybe, from Freak Pic, could you maybe take a look at Loner by Gary Moore, or any AC/DC songs? Thanks. Yes, I could. Certainly. I will have a look. Another one from Freak Pic. Hey, what kind of distortion pedal are you using? I am using what I've been using for years, is a Boss SD1 They're like 39 quid. It's a great pedal. It does what I want it to do, you know. I don't like a full-on saturated gain. I like a warm brown sound, as Van Halen called it. But yeah, Boss SD1 is pretty beat up. It's been stamped on and beard on and everything else you can imagine on. But 39 quid, you can't complain. So Boss SD1, check them out. The last question in this epic video is, I have a recommendation. Do you think you could do a lesson on the song Always With Me, Always With You by Joe Satriani? I like the way you did your Hotel California solo lesson. It was easy to understand and to follow along. Keep up the good work. Why, thank you. That was another one from Mr. I just realised it's not Mrs. It's Mr. Sniff Meffinger. Mr. Sorry, I saw it as Mrs. Sorry, man. Mr. I could go back and edit in Mr. instead of me saying Mrs. for the last God knows how many times, but sorry, buddy. Mr. Sniff Meffinger. Yeah, man. I'll certainly have a look at it. Always With Me, Always With You. I've heard it before. I don't know. I know obviously everyone knows who Joe Satriani is, but I've probably heard that song a couple of times. I remember doing it actually at college, actually, if I remember rightly. It's got big stretchy chords, like big bits of chords. But yeah, I could say have a look at that. Thank you for, I'm glad you found Hotel California, the lesson, helpful. It means a lot. Thank you very much. I'm glad that helped you in your journey. But yeah, I'll give it a go, buddy. I'll look out for it. Or if you're in the Surrey area and you want a one-on-one lesson in person with this strange man, drop me a message. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, I'll look at it, certainly. There you go. All the questions answered. Thank you all very, very much for submitting your questions in. It really does mean a lot. And like I've said before, I'm so grateful for people taking the time to watch my videos, to comment, like them. And yeah, it really means a lot. I was at a gig. I was at the Rob Chapman and Phil X gig a couple of weeks ago. Really, really cool gig. Chappers was great. Phil X was amazing. And there was this cool little French kid. I've completely forgotten your name, buddy. But yeah, he kind of recognised me from the videos and whatnot. And yeah, it meant a lot, you know, that people kind of remember. And it's someone else as well. I can't remember where it was, but someone else recognised me from YouTube. So yeah, it means a lot, and it kind of encourages me to want to continue to do this crazy stuff, you know. So no, hopefully that's helped. Thank you again for the questions. Hopefully it's helped you in any way with the gear I'm using and my ideas of practicing. Like I was saying before, just play the guitar as much as you can. The more you play, the better you get. And by all means, have fun with it. That's the most important thing. Don't beat yourself up too much with it. If you feel you're not getting a certain technique, if you're learning a song and you're like, for crying out loud, I can't get it, don't worry, just chill out, take your time and just have fun, you know. Try and find other people to play with, jam, write songs, and that's what it's all about. The more you have fun with it, the better you're going to get at it, you know. So no, thanks again, guys, and by all means, if this is the first video you've seen of me, by all means subscribe, like, share, and welcome to Mike Bradley World. So I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, see you soon.